Feeding horses high quality hay not only maintains their health, but ultimately saves owners money. Follow these best nutrition practices to ensure that your valued investment thrives. Welcome to the Alabama Forage Focus channel. This is Forage Drops, a weekly series produced by me, Dr. Liliane Silva. I work as a postdoctoral fellow at Auburn University at the Animal Science Department. And my goal with this series is to bring short videos on forage topics with timely information. The video today is based on an updated recent publication from the ACES resources, and it's called 10 Rules for Feeding Horses. So let's get started. One of the major points is to make sure that you're putting forage first. So for doing that, it's important to use good quality forage, and usually leisure horses will consume around 2.5% of their body weight in forage per day. When consuming large amounts of concentrate, horses should still be fed around 1% of their body weight in forage per day, just to make sure that they are having an appropriate intake of good quality forage to maintain a proper gut function and the minimum required fiber content on their diets. Good quality hay generally it's characterized by having a fresh smell. It's green, it has like a nice green color, and high level leaf content, and little to no weeds or other debris and even trash. And if your animals stay on pastures, then it's important to make sure that the pastures do not have toxic weeds or trees that they could ingest and cause any health issues on them. And also, the pasture should have safe and palatable forages just to make sure that the horses will be able to consume the amount of forage they require. Then another important point is to maintain clean and fresh water available for the animals to consume. And generally, a horse will consume around 8 to 12 gallons of water, sometimes even more per day. Exercising horses should be offered water immediately after working, but the amount of water that they can consume on one single time should be limited just until the animal is cooled down. Generally, feedstuffs vary in density, so feeding horses should be based on weight, not by volume. And commercial concentrates may vary across manufacturers or even from batch to batch. So the same is true for hay, as not all flakes or blocks within a batch are the same. Feeding small meals ensures that a horse can better absorb nutrients before the feed passes into the hindgut to fermentation. And feeding meals on a regular schedule, preferably every 12 hours, helps the animal to maximize nutrient absorption and minimize risk of colic. So this is really important to make sure you're making your animal to have proper quality of life throughout the time. And horses feel and perform best at their ideal body condition. So maintaining a proper condition is important. And it usually when you are making changes to the diet, it's important to make it slow. Usually it takes at least 2 weeks to safely switch a horse's grain, for example. And you should begin to substitute a small amount of a new feed for the present feed, um, just on a weight basis, just to make sure that the horse can adapt to that. Then, when feeding horses in groups, it's important to use individual feeders for concentrates, just because some animals can have some problems when they're in groups to be able to actually consume the amount that they should have. And if you have individual feeders, then each animal can have its own, and this will help them to properly consume the amount of nutrients that they should. Maintaining proper storage of feed is extremely important, especially for hay. Hay should be stored in covered areas just to minimize spoilage and contamination, but also to maintain it in a dry place and avoiding issues as mold growing, for example. Then, if the animals are grazing pastures, uh, you can always use grazing management as an ally on your system. So, under rotational management, for example, pastures can be divided into smaller paddocks to allow animals to rotate at known forage regrowth intervals. Just ensure that the manure, the excreta will be deposited uniformly, and also helps to provide better forage quality for the horses. Well, to check this publication in its full, please click on the link here on the description of this video. I hope you have enjoyed this brief summary of this publication. Thank you so much for joining us, and please subscribe to our YouTube page so you can get a notification when new content is available. Thank you so much.